Can you hear us? Thank you, Holly.
That were sent out from city council. Okay.
We'll get started soon. Hey, Holly, can you confirm, do you see the presentation advancing? Can you confirm if it's advancing online?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so you see the slides moving?
Yeah.
All right, thank you, because yeah, last time we had an issue. Oh, yeah. No, it's okay. I know you've been slammed. Mhm. Well, tomorrow by noon, it'll all be over.
I know.
All right, so we're live and ready when you want to start. It's not quite 6 yet.
Five people online.
One, two. There are 5 people online.
No. So I'll call the meeting to order at 6 p.m. Parker, can you provide information on how to participate in comment?
Yes. Information on participating in this meeting and providing public comment, including remotely by Zoom or telephone, is available on this meeting's agenda located in the back and is also available online at isearchmonterey.org. Remote commenters, you'll be muted until it is your time to speak, and in-person attendees must keep phones and devices muted to prevent audio interference with the meeting. Thank you for participating in your city government.
So move on to roll call.
Aguajita Oaks. Alta Mesa. Casanova Oak Knoll. Deer Flats. Del Monte Beach.
Here.
Del Monte Grove Laguna Grande.
Here.
Downtown.
Here.
Fisherman's Flats. Glenwood. Monterey Vista.
Here.
New Monterey.
Here.
Oak Grove.
Yes.
Thank you. Old Town. Skyline. And Ville Del Monte. We do have quorum.
I am here. This is Tammy with Villa Del Monte as the alternative.
Thank you.
So we'll move on to general public comments. So these would be any topics that are not on the agenda, and that is within the jurisdictional matter of NCIP. So is there anyone in the audience that would like to come up? We know him. Anyone online?
No, no, mine.
Okay, so we will close general comments and move on to approval of minutes. So we will call for approval of minutes of the meeting held on December 11th, 2024. Do I have a motion? I make a motion, we accept them. I'll second. Okay. Roll call for vote.
Okay. Alta Mesa.
Yes.
Casanova Oak Knoll. Deer Flats. Del Monte Beach.
Aye.
Del Monte Grove Laguna Grande. Downtown. Fisherman's Flats. Glenwood. Monterey Vista. New Monterey.
Aye.
Oak Grove.
Aye.
Thank you. Old Town. Skyline. And Villa Del Monte.
Yes.
Jill Johnson.
Thank you.
Hey, Tammy, Jill Johnson just showed up for the meeting.
Okay. I'll mute myself. Thank you.
All right, thank
Thank
you.
you.
So we'll move on to informational reports and staff comments. So I'll hand it off to Reggie Colvin, the NCIP staff coordinator, senior engineer.
All right, thank you very much, Chinyari. So we'll start with the presentation this evening. So let me share my screen. Oh, here we go. Sorry, it was a delay. So I want to start with tonight is the annual orientation meeting for the NCIP committee. And by the policies and procedures manual, that's to take place during the first meeting of the cycle. So just a quick, short recap of what the NCIP program and committee is for everyone. NCIP committee was created in 1988, preserve the uniqueness of Monterey, and it's found in section 6.6 D of the city charter. Just a few highlights. Measure B, which created the funding for NCIP committee, sets aside 16% of annual transit occupancy tax to be budgeted for capital projects to improve residential neighborhoods or projects of community-wide benefit. Definition of capital projects includes but not limited to streets, storm drains, sewers, sidewalks, lighting, traffic control devices, landscaping and beautification, parks, recreational facilities, and public buildings. Capital projects specifically do not include ordinary services. There are 15 neighborhoods which have a representative and in most cases an alternate. I think we have a few openings. And here's the flow chart for the NCIP process, right? Council appoints members to the committee for a 4-year period, 4-year term. We have an orientation meeting, which we're having tonight. Later, we'll establish the deadline. I think everyone is very interested in for project submittals. We'll then go through the process of screening, reviewing, and ultimately voting. Then we'll make a recommendation to City Council. Projects will go to City Council. They'll go to the Planning Commission, Parks and Rec Commission, and then go to City Council. So that's that part of that. So I just wanted to go over, recap briefly, also some of the high points for the Brown Act, Ralph M. Brown Act. It governs meetings conducted by local bodies, including the NCIP committee. A meeting is any congregation of the majority of the members of the body. So if at any time there's quorum, that happens to be a meeting. If you remember, city attorney also identified other types of gatherings that could be considered a meeting, even if that was a daisy chain, if there was phone calls from one person to the next or emails and such. So just be careful of that. Brown Act also facilitates public participation in local government deliberations and decisions, requires for regular meetings 72-hour publishment of the agenda in advance of the meeting. For special meetings, it gives leeway for 24-hour advance notice, requires items to be discussed or considered to be on the agenda, and requires public comment before or during deliberations. So just a few of the important items, people that are associated with the NCIP committee. So the mayor, as I'm sure is all aware now, interviews and recommends committee candidates to council for appointment, and that's captured in City Council Resolution 23-131. And he's also, or he or she, the mayor, whoever that is the official liaison to City Council for NCIP committee. City Council has the responsibility to review and approve committee candidate appointments, and that's also in Resolution 23-131. They review and approve NCIP committee recommendations and make decisions that go beyond NCIP committee recommendations, including funding and or awarding or approving projects. The NCIP committee members' responsibilities are laid out in the NCIP Policies and Procedures Manual. That includes meeting with neighborhood residents, reviewing NCIP nomination forms, or also known as applications, attending these NCIP committee meetings, making recommendations to City Council. And also you are required to complete ethics and anti-harassment training and to file the Fair Political Policies or Practice Commission Form 700 at least at 3 different times upon appointment, annually, and at the end of your term, and that's to determine any potential conflicts of interest. So that's the end of that. Did anyone have any questions before I get into the status?
The harassment and those kind, do we only do them once, or do we have to repeat them every X number of years?
I believe they are every 2 years. Well, I think the ethics is every 2 years and anti-harassment every year. Yeah, sorry. I don't have that, but I will send that out to the committee.
But we'll get emails.
Yes, the emails are sent out when they're required, and ethics and anti-harassment training are required for anyone who's new. So if you've been on if you just started on the committee and you haven't done it, then you have to do it. And there are different time frames. I think one of them is every other year and one might be every third year or something. But I'll get the exact dates. Okay. So project status update. So we completed 18 projects in the last calendar year, 2024. Monterey Sports Center upgrades, those were exterior, painting, doors, those sorts of things. Library, parking lot, street light on Pacific Street, Hartnell Street, Webster Street, crosswalk, rectangular rapid flashing beacon, Del Monte Beach Tide Avenue boardwalk repair, Monterey Bay Park dune restoration, recreation trail water bottle refill stations, Fisherman Flats and Monterey Vista traffic calming plans, bike racks at the sports center, Spray Avenue Tot Lot resurfacing, Laguna Grande Park lighting, Veterans Park West parking lot upgrade, Via Del Rey, Herman Drive, streetlight well, it wasn't installation, but it was, we activated the light. Casanova Oak Knoll Park improvements, forest management, Via Gayuba, Walter Colton, always stop analysis, ALPR camera installation, and Casanova Avenue radar speed sign installation. So here are just a few photos of the various projects. So here you could see on the left, that's Sports Center painting. Then we also have the Sports Center, the new bike racks that were installed. Actually, a third bike rack has been installed since this photo was taken. Here on the left again, we have this is Del Monte Grove, Laguna Grande Park, Laguna Grande Park. And then the two photos on the right are of the renovated parking lot at Veterans Park. Here we have a couple the street light projects. So on the left, we have the Pacific Street light that's installed just outside of the library. And then on the right, we have a before and after shot of the activated street light at Via Del Rey and Herman Drive. Here we have the rapid flashing beacon that was installed at Webster and Hartnell. And on the right, we have the radar speed sign on Casanova Avenue. Here we have some improvements on the rec trail. We have work that was done on the dunes at the park. The center picture is a new water station that was installed in Window on the Bay Park. And on the right, that is a water fountain water station that was installed closer to Cannery Row near what's the beach? San Carlos Beach, thank you. Here we have work that's been done in the Casanova Oak Knoll Park. So approximately 200 feet of fence was upgraded from chain link to the steel. And we've also most recently installed a new shade structure in the picnic area. And we have a few other improvements that we're still working on in this picnic area. And then work that's been done at Spray Avenue Tot Lot in Del Monte Beach. So we have new turf and recently installed last month a new shade umbrella structure. Here's some improvements on the boardwalk within Del Monte Beach. And ALPR cameras that have been installed throughout the city. So I think
Have they all been installed now?
there are a few left to be installed, but they're working to get them done. The majority have been though. Okay, so those are the completed projects. So now where are we? Just to kind of give you a status for your information. I think this will inform some later conversations as well. So In 2023, we added 31 projects, completed 15. By October of that year, we had 35 active NCIP projects with a budget of approximately $5.6 million. Fast forward to 2024, we added 44 projects that gave us a total of 75. We completed 18 projects. So in those 2 years, we completed 33 projects. So at the end of last year, we had 54 active projects with a budget of roughly $9.5 million. This year, as of right now, we added 30 projects to give us a total of 105 added over the 3-year period. And as of today, we have 80 active NCIP projects with a budget roughly $18.9 million. So roughly, we're doubling the budget every year and roughly adding 30 projects per year. So what are we doing with the active projects? So we have forest management, it's ongoing. So I'm just going to give you a sample of roughly 20 projects and where we are. Old Capitol site plan, stay tuned. That's coming to Parks and Rec Commission next week is the plan, and City Council next month. the Casanova Avenue radar speed sign. We have one tweak to put on that to finish it. Neighborhood security cameras, we have a few left to install, ALPR cameras. Casanova Oak Knoll Park improvements, we completed the fence. We've installed one shade structure. We have another shade structure and table and park bench to install at Casanova Oak Knoll. Recreation trail water bottles, we've installed 2, which I showed you earlier. We have a third on order to be installed in Cannery Row area. Jocelyn Canyon radar speed signs are in contracting. Fisherman Flats entry wall repairs and contracting. Casa Verde Rec Trail crossing has been awarded and construction is soon. San Burnaby Road design, we've acquired all of the access agreements and we're completing design. Mar Vista reconstruction, so this is to do some improvements to 2 different intersections. We are seeking support. Oak Street 500 block widening. We've completed our preliminary design and are seeking the forms and support from the neighbors. Webster El Camino El Estero rapid flashing beacon, that's still in design. So here we have a long list of projects that are in design and close in some cases. Via Paraiso and Veterans Park basketball courts, they're very close. I think we're at 90% on that design for those 2. Deer Forest Drive Elk Run utility box relocation. We're working with the various utilities to get those done. Deer Flats park benches, where I think we've completed design and we're going to go to contracting next. Aeneas Bridge restoration, we're working through permitting. Mark Thomas separated bike path, we're still working on contracting. Neighborhood sign in the Elk Grove area, we're still, Caltrans is holding that one. Colton Hall, we still have to finish developing our bid documents and we'll possibly need to come back here for some additional funding. Cedar Street path renovation, Virgin Avenue path widening, Fairgrounds Road lighting, the Robles Avenue solar street lighting, Taylor 600 block walkway, Bruce Arias Way lighting, Veterans Park bike path, Recreation Trail permeable pavers, and the John and Ramona Highway 1 screening. Those are all in design. American Legion Harrison Walkway design, Don Davi Park Creek pathways in design. So, and we're also working with PG&E on this one. One of the holdups has been at Don Davi is to relocate some PG&E equipment. So that's that. That's where we are right now. I don't know if anyone has any
Yeah, so at this time, since this is not an agendized item, there's no formal process for receiving public comment. However, NCIP committee members can ask for clarifying questions. However, there can be no discussion beyond any motions or roll call of any kind. This is simply just a presentation for the committee's benefits. If you have any clarifying questions at this time, would be appropriate to ask for the committee members. Jamie, Del Monte Beach first.
So clarifying question, the funding for the camera was specific to the in and outs in our neighborhood. It wasn't a neighborhood or citywide project. The concern is that you have one vendor that's doing it for the whole city. And I reached out to the chief. Do they all understand that the neighborhood of Del Monte Beach got funding for its own visibility? We've had a number of shootings and it's been useful. And so the police have been using private cameras. This is supposed to supplement the private cameras. So can we look at the placement of the camera to be sure it addresses the neighborhood's needs?
So I think that's something we'll have to talk about and bring back.
Thank you. Perfect.
Yes, downtown.
When it says in design, does that mean that's City of Monterey's engineers, or is that outside engineers? When you say in design, who is doing the design?
It could be either. So it could be either. So we currently have 20 projects that have been contracted outside the city for design work specifically. So we are designing a number in-house, but yeah, 20, specifically 20 have been contracted out for design.
The landscape of being able to contract out, like is there a lot of availability to do that, or?
So contracting out, we have a civil on-call contract that was awarded by City Council. I forget exactly when, but sometime, say middle of last year. Once that was awarded, it gave us the ability to contract out for design services and other civil engineering services. The limiting factor on it is not necessarily the companies, but they do have their own limitations, but it's also on still city staff has involvement with the companies and providing feedback and input and review of the design. So I think we're pretty much, I would say with the 20 that are out right now, I'd say I'm personally at my limit for what I can do, managing our other projects plus those 20. So plus we have is it an annual or is it a 5-year maximum of $1 million? Annual maximum of 1 million. So we have a monetary limit as well.
Chair, can I add to? Okay, so currently, just for an overview of staffing in engineering and project management, which is the project delivery, we're 60% vacancy. We do have one new person starting tomorrow, which is great news. He's an assistant engineer. And so as we bring new people, our experience level, from people that have been here for 20, 15 years is obviously getting, much shorter time with the city. So we're getting a lot of newer folks. Sometimes having new folks is great because different ideas, different methods of doing things, but we are losing a little bit of the local experience. We're also noticing that the consultants are also having trouble recruiting and with retention as well, which then is a worry for us in retaining our staff because consultants do tend to pay more. And so they're having their troubles with bandwidth and being able to address all the other cities that are also competing for their time. So we're finding that things are taking longer. It could be a lot of times that we're seeing that maybe they do have their junior or more inexperienced engineers in some of our projects, which then means that we, with our local experience, have to then do a lot more review and a lot more corrections on the plans as well.
So you say there's 105 projects total, 80 of which are active, so the other 25 projects. Can you talk when, is there kind of any?
So no, I'm
You might tell people who submitted.
So to-
projects?
So to clarify, and thank you. So no, the universe of projects is 80. There's currently 80 NCIP projects total. 105 is just how many we've added over the last, how many total we've added. We have 80 right now. I'm sorry. So that's the first part. I'm sorry. What was the second
And how
part?
many are active versus non-active?
So remember, I'm producing a monthly report. So you can look at that the first Friday of the month. It's supposed to, hopefully it comes out. That's my goal. Roughly half, somewhere on the order of 35 to 40 of the 80 have some form of activity. The other 40 to 45 do not, for various reasons, including that the 30 that we added in November, for the most part, I haven't touched. So the majority of the ones that don't have anything happening are those brand new ones. There are some other ones that are, to be blunt, are difficult, and I've been working on some of the less difficult ones to move things along. But I guess on that note, right, there's a desire to have a conversation about the difficult projects. And I think that's the plan, is for that to be on the next meeting's agenda. All right.
We have NCIP informational report next. I do not have any reports, but we do have an update on a project we talked about, so we'll hand it over to Hans.
So I'm talking about multi-neighborhood 08, which was the tree study that Ron Naha submitted, and I went back and talked with him, and he kind of clarified a little bit what he's looking at, and it's not really what we had talked about, about whether the study done by the firefighters was basically covering it. He basically says, no, he was looking for was really within the city of Monterey to do a study of the maturing and in some cases dangerous Monterey pines that are around, and that he would like to do a kind of a study within the residential areas, not within the forest, not within there, but trees that are endangering homes, endangering other structures and buildings, and really take an inventory of those and figure out a way, to basically inventory the trees and then figure out later, like maybe another project, what we can actually do about it, but to really get an idea, because he feels like the city is very much in danger of liability for trees, especially those on public property, but also when neighbors' trees are leaning over somebody's house and nothing gets done. So he's looking at quite a few trees, especially like on Via del Pinar, where there are a lot of pine trees, where there are many are dangerously leaning towards houses, over houses, and they fall unexpectedly and have in many cases done severe damage to houses and so forth. So that's what he's looking for. And I think that might get addressed too at the upcoming fire meeting that's, I guess, will happen. And end of the month,
On the 27th,
pardon me?
27th.
27th of February. So that may get addressed there, but that was the crux of his project. So I don't know, we can agendize maybe for next time how we want to. I think we're supposed to return that to city council to have them look at it So we can maybe decide that, put that on the agenda for the next one.
Who wants to make a motion to do that?
Can I do that? Okay, I'll make a motion to put that on the agenda for our next meeting. I'll second.
Roll call vote.
Aguirre Oaks, not here. Alta Mesa.
Aye.
Casa Nova Oak Knoll.
Aye.
Deer Flats.
Aye.
Del Monte Beach.
Aye.
Del Monte Grove Laguna Grande.
Aye.
Downtown.
Aye.
Fisherman's Flats. Glenwood. Monterey Vista. New Monterey.
Aye.
Oak Grove.
Aye.
Thank you. Old Town.
Aye.
Skyline. And Villa Del Monte. All right, motion approved.
So we'll move on to public appearance and I'll hand it off to the developer.
Okay. All right, so public appearance item number 4, adopt neighborhood and community improvement program committee meetings and deadline schedule for development of the fiscal year 2025-26 neighborhood and community improvement program. So this is a discussion on the calendar meetings. And one of the items that has of most importance, I think, for everyone is when are we going to establish a deadline for projects, or for nomination form submittal? So included in the packet, staff has proposed a schedule that would that starts with tonight's meeting, February 5th, has a second meeting on February 19th, where we propose to, one of the items on the agenda would be to go over and review existing difficult projects, so we can review all projects with focus on the difficult ones. And then the schedule would be pushed out from what it has normally most recently been, where we're proposing joint meeting, city staff presents let me rewind. So the general idea of this schedule is to better incorporate it with the city's capital improvement program schedule, and presentations to city council to allow the NCIP committee and city council to collaborate more together on projects and recommendations. And in order to do that, we felt that it was important to allow the formation of the CIP program to go to city council, and then have that feedback and input come back to the NCIP committee. And right now, we're specifically recommending the nomination deadline be the end of July, with meetings to focus on the nominations in the fall, specifically September through November, with voting night right before Thanksgiving. And then we would go to city council, or Parks and Rec, Planning Commission, City Council in the spring.
Sure, Mayor, thank you. So one of the things that we noticed is, in the past years, when, city council had the item to provide guidance to NCIP on council priorities, it was happening after nominations were already closed. So there was not the opportunity to work on some of the scopes of the projects. The other thing that we heard when the meeting was held at Hilltop is that you wanted more information on what infrastructure needs we had and what things needed improvements. And so by aligning that with the CIP project, it's usually the time of the year where staff has the most updated numbers and information that we can present to NCIP. And then we also added a meeting where we can collaborate and talk and answer any questions on some of the infrastructure projects. And the other thing too, the other consideration was, if we kept the same schedule, by the time Reggie had already gotten 40 new projects, he'd get it, we start over again and have another 40, and he wouldn't even have time to touch some of the new ones that just got approved. So it's, again, this is just an idea. You know, some things can be changed by motion after a discussion, but that was the intent.
So I think that's, so it's, yes, to open it up to, questions before public comment.
By NCIP members for clarification. Anyone have clarification?
Will this allow any better for voting night? Will this allow better estimates of project costs, since we'll have a better idea of what the projects are?
May I answer? It depends.
Okay.
So if it is, let's say that we're going to CIP with a very specific request, and we're partially funding something because we know we don't have the full amount, then yes, you could potentially have a much better estimate on certain projects. But I think as far as, you know, if we get 40 new projects, we're gonna have to, again, do what we had been doing, which is very educated guesses, better educated estimates.
We'll close committee questions and open for public comment. Is anyone in the public wish to make a comment? Anyone online? The one person,
3 minutes.
3 minutes?
So my main question would be about the fuel reduction that we do every year. They sped it up last year. I think we voted in June and they accelerated the release of the money. So we want to think about that. But this new idea would actually coincide more with the fiscal year. So that might be advantageous, right? We would actually know what the fiscal year would be.
Sure, may I answer the question? So we did give it some thought because the fuel reduction is generally the most time sensitive one that's done every year. And I know everybody's very sensitive, rightfully so, with the fires that happen in LA. So one of the options that we discussed would be NCIP can agendize an item to add and balance funding to an existing fuel reduction project. So we're not doing anything out of order. We can do a schedule that fulfills all our needs, your needs, but still get the very important fuel reduction.
There are no hands raised online.
Close public comment and we'll open comments from NCIP members. And we'll start off with Alvin Oaks.
Not present.
Walter Mesa.
One of the other benefits that I see as a new person coming on is that this schedule also eliminates that what happens when a new person comes on and they're immediately supposed to vote on projects that they haven't seen before. So the schedule would address that, and I find that to be helpful. But the reasons for the wanting to make the shift make sense to me in terms of being able to coordinate with the CIP budget. And just to make sure this has nothing to do with the backlog. This is simply getting our schedule more in line so that you and we have better information. It's not anything addressing the backlog.
It doesn't make it worse, but not really, no. I mean, yeah, the ultimate goal is to have better alignment, better information, so we can make better decisions.
Casanova O'Donnell.
I'd like to have good rule that can match it then the fiscal year, so we'll have a better idea of the budget and the money, as well as kind of tracking it alongside with the CIP program or getting an idea of what those are. Not sure this is appropriate time to talk about it, because it might come later. Is this taking into consideration that we'll be accepting projects? I know we talked about a couple different alternatives that we might be discussing later regarding backlog of projects, accepting new projects. I don't know if this is the appropriate time to discuss that.
You can make a motion after the comments are given. But yeah, that'd be appropriate to discuss that.
Well, I think it's already on the agenda, right, to discuss how we're gonna go about accepting new projects.
No, that's-
No, that is not.
So I just want to clarify, Reggie, you said it won't necessarily make the backlog worse. Well,
right.
then will help you catch up.
Well, yes, it would, because we would have a later time frame for this year for, right, like, reviewing projects and recommending to council and ultimately awarding projects, right? So we would push out the calendar this year by 6 months, roughly. So it would give an additional 6 months to work on projects, yes.
Your thoughts?
My alternate is to hear is much wiser. Do you have any comments?
Oh, I don't.
Okay. Right. No comment.
Del Monte.
I just want to say, I was excited when I saw this. At the last meeting, there were a lot of ideas. But I would put to you, I think this is a good compromise. I think it's important to maintain an ongoing cycle. I think the opportunity for new projects to come up is important to honor. So this gives a chance for that next emergency to come up, especially since NIP plays a big role in the CIP funding process. The city would like to have the opportunity to get these funds out too. This lets them still have the opportunity to come in with those CIP needs, have us work with them and get projects out the door while providing some breathing room. So I was super excited to see this, and I think it's a good compromise to meet their concerns and still the goals and achievements of the committee.
Del Monte, Borough.
Yeah, exactly. I'm all for anything that allows better information to the committee. That's been one of my things I've noticed, is that on voting night, I just don't have the feeling that we have the complete picture of what the city needs, so I think, the meeting on the June 17th is exactly what we need to hear from council. What does the city need, so we can prioritize that.
Downtown.
So I agree with Jamie that this is a good compromise. I have, well, the other thing is, I think it gives us a chance to work with, or at least get feedback from the city council before we actually send this to the city council, so the probability of them actually not having to have a discussion about the projects is much greater. The one concern I have is this is essentially putting the deadline for submitting projects 6 months later than we normally do. So this year, we may have a lot more projects than we would normally. So we need to think about how we're gonna handle that.
Good.
And that's the only concern I got.
Fisherman Flats. Glenwood.
I agree with Jamie and, also with downtown, concerned about new projects coming in. I myself have a project I want to put in. But I've kind of, okay, with so many on the books already, I can wait another year. But it's getting to the point that I have to put the project in, I can't wait. So, but I think it's a great compromise that the city would work with us, we'll get the proper information and more complete information to make better judgments on projects. Thank you.
Monterey Vista.
Well, I like the new schedule. I was worried it was gonna be a lot during the summer when people are traveling, but I think this will work quite well, and I think this is well thought out schedule. It gives us more time to review some of the projects and, I think I really support this. I do hope at some point we can discuss how to divide our projects between smaller neighborhood projects and maybe some larger projects like the fuel reduction and so forth. But we have to figure out how we can do that more easily or a more standard way. But that's a different discussion topic.
That's fine.
Oak Grove,
Online.
Yes?
any comments?
No.
Old Town? This looks good. I'm gonna place our opinions on here, gives us a little breathing room and be nice to have the information about the project, so we're more informed. And take it back to our neighborhoods and find if we are voting. Anybody else in favor? Skyline?
We already have 30 projects submitted, so we're gonna have to work with the extended date, but I think I'll be making 2 motions after we get through the comment. I really appreciate working with city staff. The chair and I have worked with staff to come up with a schedule. But I think it's a great compromise. I think it gives us the information that we can make appropriate decisions. And it helps the city because then we know what their priorities are and are not coming in at the last minute and saying, "It's how much for you, whatever." So I think this is a good step how we do that.
Villa Del Monte? And then, my comments, I really just echoing what everyone's already said. I think it is a really good compromise. I think it's actually nice to have those 6 months so that we have the opportunity to have some meetings to look at difficult projects, consider making different recommendations, work more closely with the city, staff and not have those kind of last minute things that pop up, which always feels a little, disorienting when that happens. So this is a great opportunity for us to collaborate a lot better and have better communication. So I think it's a good compromise. And I echo Hans, my initial concern was just things over the summer when people are traveling and things like that. And we're able to kind of move things around and avoid that. So I'm supportive of that. Right, so we'll go ahead and close committee.
So you can make motions for the item. I understand that there were some community members that discussed wanting to set motions, so now would be appropriate time for motions.
We can make a motion that we put on the agenda considering pending balance or contingency for forest management and their need of taking care of our trees and their potential.
Second.
I'll second that.
Alta Mesa,
Repeat.
So the motion is to consider in the next meeting, recommend to the council pending balance for contingency for forest management ahead of the usual cycle for the mountains, take care of the forest management needs of the city, because I have to tell you, I got on the 14th of the tree. Very good.
yes.
So when you say contingency, are you talking, you're not talking about, I'm confused. Are you talking about the contingency fund?
Yeah.
Oh,
I recall there's about 800,000. 800,000.
So there's roughly 800,000 in the contingency balance. There's another, I'm off the top of my head right now, but like 1.5 million in the unending account. And then there's other funds that are in the fund that aren't in those 2 accounts that are not assigned to projects. So if you all remember, right, the 7 million roughly that came back. So there's funds to talk about. Yes.
That would be part of the staff's report when we put this on the agenda, what's available. So we'll have more information for that, but not getting it on the agenda, we won't have that. So we should get it on the agenda and with that.
Okay. Okay, roll call vote. Alta Mesa.
Aye.
Casa Nova Oak Knoll. Deer Flats. Del Monte Beach.
Aye.
Del Monte Grove Laguna Grande.
Aye.
Downtown.
Aye.
Fisherman's Flats. Glenwood. Monterey Vista.
Yes.
New Monterey.
Aye.
Oak Grove.
Aye.
Old Town. Skyline
Yes, please.
and Villa Del Monte. Okay, motion passes. So,
Responding to Shelley's point, and within some of the comments that we received from the public, we should have agenda is talking at the next meeting. How are we gonna go forward? Are we going to cover the giant projects, or are we gonna have just the votes of the ones for the city? So I think maybe the fact that we should have it in the meeting, so I mean that we put that on the agenda for next meeting.
Did you capture the motion?
the motion.
Yeah.
The motion is to,
To move forward with projects. A discussion.
yeah, for discussion. Right. Okay. Alta Mesa.
Aye.
Casa Nova Oak Knoll.
Aye.
Deer Flats.
Aye.
Del Monte Beach.
Aye.
Del Monte Grove Laguna Grande. Downtown.
Aye.
Fisherman's Flats.
Aye.
Glenwood.
Aye.
Monterey Vista. New Monterey. Oak Grove.
Aye.
Old Town. Skyline. And Villa Del Monte.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes and go ahead.
So to clarify, it's specifically new project submissions, right? Correct, Dennis? Sorry, Skyline rep? It's specifically new project nominations, correct?
How are we gonna do the project this year?
But I mean, new projects. New, okay.
And then Chair, there should also be a motion in regards to this item itself to adopt the schedule, so.
Um, Are we gonna do a motion for the deadline to finalize that, or is that included?
That's included within the schedule, yes. Otherwise, someone would make a motion to change the deadline or otherwise.
So we have a motion to adopt the schedule.
I move that we adopt the schedule as presented.
Okay.
Okay, you get that?
Yes, I did. Alta Mesa.
Aye.
Casa Nova Oak Knoll.
Aye.
Deer Flats.
Aye.
Del Monte Beach.
Aye.
Del Monte Grove Laguna Grande.
Aye.
Downtown.
Aye.
Fisherman's Flats.
Aye.
Glenwood. Monterey Vista.
Aye.
New Monterey.
Aye.
Oak Grove.
Aye.
Old Town. Skyline.
Aye.
Villa Del Monte. Okay, motion passes.
Question about point of order. Do we need a agenda item to discuss challenge projects?
Isn't that part of the?
Well, we can set the agenda. That's on the agenda. Well, it will be on the agenda next time. I mean, if you want to make sure it's on the agenda, then yes, you could make a vote.
Okay.
Yes. Give me 1 second. Okay, so the next item, we're going to discuss one of the projects that the city council sent back to the NCIP committee for consideration. Specifically, oh, we jumped ahead. It was the recreation trail bike repair stations. Specifically, council requested identifying proposed locations. NCIP committee in December asked city staff to identify locations. So we're recommending here two different ones. One location for a proposed bike repair station is at what's known as Fisherman's Shoreline Park between Wharf 1 and the Coast Guard Pier, Coast Guard Wharf. Specifically something near the Sister Cities Park, which is what we're looking at here, between Sister Cities Park and the there's a basketball court off of the rec trail. So somewhere in this area, staff believes would be a good location. And the second location identified is in Window on the Bay near, there's the outdoor volleyball courts and the whale climbing structure. So we've identified those two locations, keeping in mind that we'd like to have Parks and Rec staff have ultimate decision on exactly where within those areas, but they would be in these general areas. And what we're proposing as well is a bike. It's very simple. Keeping in mind the conversation from that December meeting, where these would not have tools on them, but it would give people an opportunity, a place where they could place their bike, where they could do work on it, where it would be uplifted off the ground. So the way these are set up, it would be it gives people the opportunity to lift their bike up. And if you look in the agenda, there's some attachments. So it's very similar to what's in the attachment, which was submitted with the application, the original application, but in this case, simply without the tools. So that's complete staff's recommendation for this item.
Other question.
Are there lights at these?
Oh, sorry, the chair indicated for Casanova Oak Knoll first.
Oh,
I think, hoping to get some insight on, I have two questions. How are the locations picked? Is the first question, and the second, you kind of answered, but I just wanted clarification. Will this go back, not only to the council, but will it go to parks? Or, like you said, for approval of the final, but to also see if this new design with just the stand meets their concern about the equipment being stolen and having to be constantly replaced.
So the first question first, how were these locations selected? They were selected being roughly 1/3 of the way each within the recreation trail within the city of Monterey. So between the Window on the Bay Park and north to Seaside, Sand City area, or, leaving the city, is approximately 1/3 of the distance to that end of the trail. And then they're relatively, it's a little bit less than 1/3 between these two locations, but then it's roughly 1/3 of the trail between here and the trail, the south end at Pacific Grove. So the idea was to make them relatively equidistant. So, if you get stuck somewhere, there would be a rack or repair area somewhere relative, as close as possible. The second question about going back to Parks and Rec Commission, I hadn't thought that far, but we can. I can't imagine why they wouldn't take a review of it. And ultimately, it would have to go to City Council in order to be approved and funded. So yes.
are there lights in these locations, or would the lights in the area be included so people can, if it's dark, can work on their bikes or so? I know someplace along the bike path there are lights, but would there be lights for the stands?
There are lights at these locations, yes. So there are the, I'd call them the typical recreation trail lighting, which has, I guess, what is it, a gooseneck, I think is what it's called specifically, where the light, yes, so, and we can take that into consideration with the ultimate location. It can be placed underneath one of the lights, but yes, there are ample lighting in both at Window on the Bay and in the Sister Cities Park area.
Any questions and open for public comment? Public comment? Is anyone online?
Mayor, 2 minutes.
3 minutes.
I apologize if I missed it because I was partially in the conversation right there, but I'm not sure. I recall at the last meeting, there was discussion around going back to the project proposers and I'm not sure if that happens with this one. The only thing I would say as far as the comment is, I know folks that are like diehard cyclists that use these types of repair stations. And my sense is it's more of like really the diehard cyclists, you know, they're wearing the suits and they're going long distances. They're not carrying equipment on them. So if we're going to do it, I imagine that it would be only useful to have the equipment on there. Otherwise, I would just say no project. So that's just my thoughts, 2 cents. It might be helpful to have conversation with folks that are in that community to kind of get their feedback directly, because that's not me, but just kind of sharing that.
So we're going to close public comment and open it up for committee comments. We'll start off with Alta Mesa. I'm not a cyclist, so I don't know that I have a feel for the usefulness of having these stands, but I do think that when we discussed this earlier, there was someone who was a cyclist that got and spoke, and they did say they carry their keys. Or maybe it was a sea health. So I do think that many people do have a little toolkit. And the only other question I have is the one location at Sister City. That isn't that the area that's been where the seals or the ones come in, and would that does that impact the usefulness of being able to access? They continue to come and visit us every year.
I can respond to, so the Sister Cities Park area, I mean, so as you could see in the photo on the left, there is a large grass area. So the seals, sea lions have pretty much been on the rocky shore area. So, I mean, we can look at putting it on the more land side of the recreation trail as an example. So, but yes, you are correct. Most recently, but I think they also change locations from year to year.
Thank you for answering the question about the location. I was just kind of wondering how they were. Yeah, but I know I did attend the Parks Commission meeting on the day that they reviewed the NCIP project, and the big concern with the former design of the stand itself was the tools and the theft of the tools, and then Parks felt then they would have to be constantly replacing it, taking that out of their budget. So I think the new design does meet their concerns. I'm not going to speak for the Parks Department, but from what I heard, that was the big concern with the theft and replacement of the tools. And I agree with Alta. I do remember several people actually said that they carried some kind of tool, or even if it was just a small tire pack or something. So with that, I think that meets the concerns that Parks had with it, and I do like the redesign. So we're going to go forward with that project. I think this is probably better. I don't want to have NCIP constantly asking to be replaced in the again. Your thoughts?
I can easily be convinced that this is a good idea. I'm yet to be convinced, only because I feel that when I'm personally on the trail, I'm riding that beach cruiser. I see a lot of families out there with rented bikes. The diehard people are out on the bigger roads, and they don't have stations set up for all around the county roads. It's not county, but the longer roads. So I just don't quite see the need for it, but I'm also not going to necessarily get in the way.
Del Monte Beach.
So I actually am kind of agreeing with the mayor in that when I approved this, and it's approved more than once, I've voted more than once. I like the idea of having the tools there, because then that meets everybody's needs. If we default to this, we've defaulted to the tools are stolen now. So I'd almost rather put it all out there, and then when the tools are stolen, you got this. And at least you had a chance to have the tools out there to meet a larger need. Because I don't think this meets as many needs as the project was originally submitted. But I do appreciate the thinking out of the box and coming up with this idea.
Yeah, I'm also skeptical of the usefulness, and I'd like to hear from a diehard cyclist about how it would actually be used. On the downside, I think it might just add to more clutter of stuff along the trail that is unused, and I think that's the question for us.
Downtown?
So I'm not a cyclist, but I think if we put tools there, and I agree with the Parks and Rec, the especially in the middle of the day, they're not gonna last very long. They'll be gone fairly quickly, and that's gonna be an ongoing instance. But this eliminates that issue.
Commissioner Watts?
I agree with having the tools and equipment there. I'm active and on the trail a lot, but I'm not, I have a bike, but I don't have any tools, so I be out on the trail without them, but I don't know, is there some options as far as like having tools attached or different, options as far as what's available? I don't know, but I think it's a good idea to have the tools.
Glenwood?
I agree with the locations, because most of the things happen when you're not close to home. Putting it any closer in towards, the wharfs and all that stuff, it's too congested on the red trail already. My concern is over the equipment. I don't go camping without my matches or my, lantern. Same things when we have power outages. I have battle feeds and a lot of lanterns and et cetera. I'm not a cyclist. I have in the past. But I also have a little pack of tools that I was able to attach underneath my seat. So in case things did happen, whatever it was, an Allen wrench, or if it was a patch for a tire, whatever, I was able to get attached under there. I too am worried about the equipment. Because even if they leave it attached there, it's like, now you see it, now you don't. And it's maybe not cyclists taking them or forgetting that if they could leave it or whatever. There's people that walk around and take things in there. But I think that's what patients are great. It's a great idea. Thanks.
Monterey Vista?
I am a cyclist. I do carry tools, but I've ridden in Seattle where they've had these, and I think if you have tools, I know they make these stands with quite an extensive range of tools, but I think you don't need, chain tools and stuff like that. I think what you need is a couple of Allen wrenches, and they make them where they're attached by a cable, and stealing an Allen wrench is not, it's not very attractive to a lot of people. I mean, them Allen wrenches are not that much. And so the ones I've seen in Seattle have not had a lot of tools stolen. The ones that where they've been stolen are where they have the fancier tools, I think. And I think a simple set of tools might be okay, but in any case, I think having, from my point of view, having a rack is better than not having anything. Because it is nice if you get a flat to be able to lift your bike up, to be able to repair a tire. So I would support the simple ones, or with a simple set of tools, or just the racks.
Oak Grove?
I am not a bike rider, so I cannot give my opinion, but I approve the majority decision.
Old Town?
I think, like Jamie said, this original project was approved with tools included. So do you have to go back to the original submitter to make a change like this? And I'm in favor of the tool. And the local, and the rack.
Joe Del Monte?
I've done a lot of long distance riding, countries, South France, Italy. We live in the Netherlands. We don't have this. There's more bike riders there than anywhere in the world. So I think it's kind of frivolous, and a lot of places you can hang your bike, and fence, whatever. There's so many different bikes now, so many different tool systems. You know, the old American bike is probably very rarely seen now. So I'm not very. You know, old style English system, you have to have different valves and. You have to have your own stuff.
So I feel like this is, a lot of deliberation about. So my primary question is, is the original submitter okay with the alternative presented? And then if they aren't, then I guess I'm not very clear on like the next steps, like in terms of, would we then make a recommendation not to have it go to city council? Or that's clarification on the process.
So I'll have to apologize because I did not reach out to the proponent. So I could still do that. We can bring it back again. I don't know if you need to make any decision if you don't want it to go back to city council. I think you just let it, die. But that's just my thought on that.
For the submitter, and so maybe it's best to let this one go and have the submitter resubmit or show up and say specifically what they want.
Would you like to make a motion?
I would like to make a motion to let this go.
Table it?
I don't know the proper terminology. So what you're implying is to have it no longer considered by NCIP committee for this fiscal cycle, however, offer to the submitter to submit it for a future fiscal cycle. Okay, so that'd be the motion. Okay. Do we have a second? Oh,
Tell me the weight limit on the bike.
Oh, the weight limit. Not off the top of my head, no.
People have e-bikes.
Yes, they do. They do have the e-bikes. Yeah, that's true. No, I don't have it all. I did pull this example from, there's multiple vendors. Like I think it was the Fix It, which is the same one that is in the agenda packet. Is where I pulled this one from. So I would assume that it would be reasonable weight limit, but I can't say.
okay. So back to, sorry, go ahead, Chair.
Skip Skyline.
Oh, okay. Yes, we can go back to Skyline's comment. Yes.
I just want to make a couple of points. A lot of bicycles get stolen with cutters. Whatever cable you're gonna attach the tools with is gonna be cuttable with a cutter.
Yeah.
I think the consideration or concern about maintenance and fuel are very valid. We like the fact that we're considering kind of public places for those two locations. Because there are people either on the basketball court or they're on the base and public marching. So I think both of those locations are good. Several years ago, in a 2-year period, I rode 7,500 miles on my bike, and yes, I had a few flats. So one of those stands would have been nice to put the bike on. I always carried my tools because you don't know where you're going to get flat. It'd be nicer to hang it up and have it upside down in the dirt, which I've done that many times too. So I would be in favor of this. I would counter the current proposal and say, let's not make a decision today. Let's get a hold of the submitter. Because in fairness to them, they did get this approved in the last cycle. The council did not want to go with it. And put it back to us to consider. The worry was maintenance and the fact of tools. I think this addresses that, and I think that's an appropriate remedy that ought to be considered. Not as next year's cycle for the person to resubmit, but with those changes that they submitted as effective for those, that we consider in the future day. Potentially the next one.
Okay, so since two motions have been proposed, we will still accept the first motion first to have a second motion if someone agrees to that, and then do a roll call for that. At which point we would then be able to take the second motion and do likewise system, just out of respect for the system of the motion. So at this point, we are looking for a second for the motion that New Monterey offered. Okay, unless you want to remove your motion, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so now moving on
withdrawn.
to the second motion. Could you repeat it?
We will vote on it at the end at a later meeting, subject to someone reaching out to the original proponent because of the rest of the concerns that were previously raised about maintenance. So that's
Second by New Monterey. Okay.
Quick comment. Usually the NIP rep is doing all the reaching out. So y'all pointing to Reggie over here and staff and, right, okay, cool.
Okay, so with Casanova adding to the motion with Casanova Oaknall being the NCIP committee member to follow up with the original submitter. Thank you. Okay, so we got first, second, and now roll call. Alta Mesa. Thank you. Casanova Oaknall.
Dennis is correct.
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Deer Flats. Del Monte Beach.
Aye.
Del Monte Grove Laguna Grande. Downtown.
Aye.
Fisherman's Flats. Glenwood. Monterey Vista.
Aye.
New Monterey.
Aye.
Oak Grove.
Aye.
Old Town. Skyline. And Villa Del Monte. Okay, motion passes.
So this is item number 6. Thank you. Item number 6, review revised project scope for Casa Verde Way underpass mural hardscape improvements and recommend revised project to City Council for approval of funding. So again, we talked about this one in December. This was returned by City Council to the NCIP committee for further consideration. City Council returned Casa Verde Way underpass mural hardscape improvements project to NCIP committee to consider beautification efforts that may be done in the same area. One example, outside of Caltrans property, understanding the challenges with Caltrans to pursue this location. And so we're right now, the original application was for mural that was made of mosaic tile. Thank you. One recommendation the city staff has is for paint if this does go forward. Some of the other items that were in the original proposal, as we've discussed before, specifically the Villa Del Monte neighborhood monuments. Caltrans has specifically already told us that they will not allow those. So here we have the photo of, this was in the original application, which is included in the packet. This is a photo of the underpass area. And then we have the some of the artwork that was included with the original application, the Del Monte Hotel, original trains item, and then some of the mosaic tile examples that were provided. So I guess we'll open it up to questions.
Supposed to go back to the submitter for him to,
So the submitter is here,
okay.
and she provided a revision, and that was submitted as public comment, which was provided to the committee. So, yeah, if you want to, I don't know, if you want to allow her to speak as well.
Sorry, could we just get a hand count of how many folks would like to speak on this item as a public comment? So 2. Okay, thank you. So, and any online?
Not online.
Thank you.
Resident of the Del Monte neighborhood, and I just want to express my support for this. And I think mosaic tile would be much better because of the longevity of it. If you're gonna do it, if you're gonna spend the money on it, you want it to last. And the thing to last, but that's, I just want to express that support with no motivation. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Miss Better. My name is Taylor Blossom. And a couple of things, the tower monument was removed from the revised proposal. And what was added is the prospective collaboration of several different entities we're in talks with. Specifically, Monterey Arts Council has offered to take a laboring board and take some pressure off the staff. And by the way, I know you guys work so hard and thank you for all the hard work. To do the application to Caltrans, which is huge. I mean, they actually have a whole outline of what they would do. And they've done it before on other transportation art projects that involve Caltrans. So I think it would be awesome to take them up on that offer and would take pressure off the city staff. Also, I want to clarify that the hardscape portion of this project has already been approved by you and was approved by city council and funded, subject to approval by Caltrans. So my thought is with Monterey Arts Council to help, we go in, you know, the city goes and makes the application for both phase 1 and phase 2 at the same time. It saves labor costs, saves staff time, labor costs, and I think it would be one permit, like save a permit fee too. The art would be on removable panels. That's required by Caltrans. So the art would belong to the city. This is not art that, you know, is belong to Caltrans. Also, the art can be only on the slopes where you see the art spaces there that say art space. It doesn't have to be on those walls where it says mural. And I think Caltrans would be more amenable if it was not on those buttresses, because they do support the freeway above. And also, I just want to point out that this isn't, you know, people say, well, the art, well, let's move it somewhere else so we don't have to deal with Caltrans. There's really nowhere else in that immediate neighborhood to move it to. And it's not just about the art murals. It's about unifying our neighborhood. That Highway 1 transected our neighborhood. Half of it's on one half and the other's on the other half. And it would be unifying. It's a really ugly area. It is a gateway to the fairgrounds. It's a gateway to Del Monte Beach. It's a gateway to all 3 neighborhoods in that area. It's dingy, it gets overgrown with weeds, and this is about unification, beautification, and showing pride in our part of the neighborhood. Thank you.
So we'll open it up for meeting member comments, starting with Alta. Well, I love the idea of coalition building with these other agencies and I support for that. And also that there may be other funding that not come over about optimism and bringing in these other collaborative project. This is definitely one of those challenging ones that will suck up, I think, a big bit of time to pursue, but you know, just in the time that I've been associated with this, the support for this particular project has been phenomenal. I would be in favor of pursuing it, incorporating some of the information that's been. That's another no.
I am very much in favor of this project. As to the materials and all of that, I'm still a little confused on what would get Caltrans approval quicker or more easy, they'll be more amenable to. I hadn't heard about the removable panels, so that's kind of an interesting thing that might make maintenance a little bit easier. I live in the neighborhood kind of adjacent to it, and so this was the off and on ramp I used when I worked in Marina. And it is not a pretty representation of our city for visitors coming to the fairgrounds. As soon as you come off that on-ramp, it just kind of looks dingy and it should represent, if it is one of the gateways, and you do get quite a few visitors to the fairgrounds, and that is the exit you would take. And it's not a good representation of our city. It really looks industrial, just dirty. So, and because the neighborhood is split, it would kind of unify the two sides. And so I'm very much in favor of this project, with the additional information. Plus, the submitter has done quite a bit of homework on this, and I really appreciate the fact that she has done that.
Their thoughts?
Fully support, I love it. I do agree that's a dingy area and I think this is a great idea. And it's sort of the mosaic, however, because if somebody were to unfortunately graffiti on it, pressure washing that off of tile is realistic. Stripping paint from paint would be much more troublesome in the long run, potentially more costly, because then you repaint it, not just clean. So that's all.
Monte Beach?
So I think this hits at the core of what NIP is for. It is to offset and mitigate the impacts of the tourism. The city's never going to justify a painting. They've got sewer drains to repair, right? But the NIP is impacted by this huge freeway. The city is impacted by this huge freeway. This offsets some of that impact. We put up murals before. So I don't think there's anybody else that's going to do it if we don't. And I really am just thrilled at the work the submitter has done to bring in the Monterey Arts expertise. It's going to save us time. We already have an approved hardscape that we're going to have to spend time getting approved. Throw the arts in, that gets them involved, that gets us out entirely. It's a win-win. We get the art that we wanted when we voted on this in 2017, and again, in this last couple of cycles. And we get the project kind of moved off to an expert's hands. So I think it's a great project.
I think it's great that the Monterey Arts Council is involved. Something has to happen here. We all love it. But I wonder, I remember discussing the idea of mosaic tile and the cost involved. And I think I recall that that's a very expensive option. Have we concluded that the mosaic tile is the way to go? Or are we still considering that versus paint because of the considerable cost? I just feel obligated to ask that question. But I appreciate everybody's support because it needs work, obviously.
Downtown?
Well, again, I think it's wonderful that Arts Council would be the ones that are going to deal with Caltrans. They have the knowledge and they probably, they mentioned they've done this before. I think that helps this project a lot. Yes, the cost was very high for the mosaics. I'm just wondering if it has to be removable of that. Reduce the cost of the easy to do if they're removable and you just put the. I think she's saying yes. Well, maybe the cost comes down. So that's a good thing. So yeah, I think they did.
Fisherman Flats?
I'm definitely in favor of this also. I drive through this area quite a bit to get to the gym and it's really in so good shape. I think this would want to bring the neighborhood together and look at this and I'm glad the Arts Council involved too. So I'm definitely in favor.
Glenwood?
I'm gonna be the odd duck on the limb, way out on the limb. I also travel that area an awful lot. My main concern is the traffic. When I'm coming off the highway or I'm going back on the highway, I'm watching that two-way traffic because it's very heavy. It's a cut through to get to all the other neighborhoods. I'm wondering if this isn't, I think we should clean it up. I think maintaining it, the vegetation and stuff around would be the best way to start to clean that up. I think the monies could be spent in the neighborhood somewhere else to beautify that neighborhood. I'm up for beautifying the neighborhood and doing but I think a better visual location, would serve the purpose. Also, if I'm on my car and I don't have one of those little sporty sit on the road cars, I'm too old for that. But a normal sedan, I'm looking for traffic. I'm not looking for artwork on the slope. I'm looking to be safe with my driving. The other thing is that, I think cleaning it up would be the other thing is the graffiti. And it says the city would have to maintain the mural. City doesn't do anything like that if it's gonna be NCIP. When there would have to do another Parks and Streets, or Parks and Recs is gonna do it, but the city doesn't do any of that cleanup. So once the graffiti, is that going to be removable off of those tiles? Will it come off after all that spray stuff is gone? Because it will happen. We all know it'll be there. I know lots of friends in the room, but thank you for listening to my opinion.
Monterey Vista?
I have to kind of agree with Jamie. I think that's just part of where NCIP kind of came from, to give residents kind of a little bit of voice. And I think we've heard a lot about how this neighborhood really is crying out for some attention that they haven't gotten for a while. And I think it is a project that may be a little difficult, may need some extra work, but I think the neighborhood has put the effort into it and has put, has clarified their desire for it. And it's something that I think is really in the spirit of NCIP that should be supported. So I support it personally.
Old Town? Oh, sorry, Oprah.
I'll go. I'm in favor of the art and encourage that. And murals outdoors are distracting unless they are done in a way that they are not so distracting, and better view by pedestrians. So I think this project needs to be careful control and careful clarity, So, but I'm in favor of the art. Thank you.
Like Jamie said, this project's been kicking around since 2017. We funded a project, I remember, of a consultant coming in, and it was out of that, their recommendations that I think is strong. It's a blighted area. It needs something done to it, and I'm totally in favor.
I do recall one of our other murals that's on the rec trail that Victor Vicello was talking about, an anti-graffiti coating on that can be cleaned up. So I don't know that painting is out of the picture. I do agree with having some artwork there. We just throw that out for consideration, because I know we had a previous project for that mural which had that coating on it. So maybe easier to remove. You have to have it a movable piece because it would be but I'm in favor of this project. NIP does things that sometimes aren't considered the best by the city, but it's always the considered. So I think we do have to put a little bit beyond one.
Bella Del Monte?
Well, since I live in that neighborhood, practically on around, 2 minutes away from that location, I'm totally in favor of it. It's really kind of depressing. Our kids walk up and down the sidewalk, so it's not very lit, but it's not very cheap. And you go to the bowling alley, go get a chocolate, a BBS, wherever. Carry the golf clubs. And school buses go there. I think it's really would do a lot for our community, and I really appreciate all the work.
So I don't live in that area, so I actually went down to take a look at the underpass. And when I was there, just could just picture what it could be. And I agree with everyone in terms of the way that it looks now, it's not very representative of our city. And if you're new to our city and that's the first thing you see, you may assume that the rest of the city looks that way. So I think in terms of first impressions, this, project really would make a big difference in improving that. And while I was there, I actually ran into a friend and she was wondering why I was in the neighborhood. And I said, oh, I'm on NCIP. There's a project proposal, and kind of described what it would be. And she was so excited to hear that there might be something done, in that underpass. And she was mentioning that she walks past, she walks her dog. A lot of people travel around that area. So it's not just cars. So like in terms of artwork, it's not cars that will be stopping to look at it. There's people who are running, jogging, walking their dog, etc. who would be able to stop and appreciate the artwork. And so much so, I ran into her a month later and she brought it up again. I didn't need to do anything. What can I do? And I said, would you come to the council meetings and talk? And she was like, I'll do it. Tell me what you need to do. So just be engagement and having people be excited about the project, I think is really great. And we talk a lot about how do you get more people interested in participating in government? How do you get more people interested in coming to meetings? And I think this is a great opportunity to have that public engagement. And even, what the murals may be, that can involve public engagement. It's an opportunity to collaborate with our museums and libraries. I recently found out about the app for the Pathway of History. And on that app, it shows different areas that have public art. So collaborations between different departments in the city, collaborations with different organizations, the Art Council, having experience. So honestly, this makes me really excited. So I definitely am in favor. And I think the submitter has done an amazing job really doing the background and the legwork. And the last thing I'll say is the way that this is written, you don't have to make a decision about paint or tiles. The way that it was revised includes options. It says no durable materials, pending approval from Caltrans. So we don't have to sit here and say it's going to be paint. If it is, I'll vote for it. I won't vote for it if it's not paint, etc. You don't have to exactly get into the weeds of that. So when I'm voting for this, I'm voting for the possibilities of what this can be. And I am very excited. I love public art, so I'm very excited about any opportunity for that. So that's my comments. Any motions or
Kind of a motion. I move we recommend to city council for approval of this with the proviso that the art commission support and feel the Caltrans approval so that public staff doesn't have a burden with the removable panels as presented by the person who's done the diligent work to bring this back to us.
second?
I'll second.
Okay. Alta Mesa,
Aye.
Casa Nova Oak Knoll, Deer Flats.
Aye.
Del Monte Beach,
Aye.
Del Monte Grove Laguna Grande,
Aye.
Downtown,
Aye.
Fisherman Flats, Glenwood,
No.
Monterey Vista,
Aye.
New Monterey,
Aye.
Oak Grove,
Aye.
Old Town, Skyline,
Yes, please.
and Ville Del Monte. Okay, motion passes.
Okay.
I'd like to congratulate Kayla on her work and follow up on this. Thank you.
Hey. All right, the last item on tonight's agenda is item 7, which is to elect NCIP committee chair and vice chair. So in the NCIP policies and procedures manual, it identifies the orientation meeting as the time to select a chair and vice chair for the annual cycle. And then from the Monterey City Code, Chapter 2, Article 3, each board, commission, and committee shall appoint one of its members as chair to serve for a term of 1 year. The chair shall preside at all meetings of the board, commission, or committee. Each board, commission, and committee shall also appoint a vice chair to serve in the place of the chair during the chair's absence. So that's the purpose for this item, for your the committee to select or nominate and select a chair and vice chair.
So
I'll go open it
so you
for
can do questions.
clarifying questions and then public comment. You could do a motion for chair and then a motion for vice chair, or if you so choose, I guess you could do a combined ticket.
Not
No, not yet. You have to do public comment first.
Open for public comment. Is anyone comment?
None online.
Close public comment, and we'll go to committee comments. Eric Altamisa. I'm happy where they're currently serving. So, does anyone have a comment?
No comments? All right. So make a
Oh,
motion.
sorry. We do have to go through each person as a comment. Yeah, we can't take just a general. So we do have to allow each person to give a couple moment to comment. Yeah.
All right. That's another little tall.
I think Shanaric and Brennan have been doing a great job of this on, and I'm happy for them to continue in their current role.
Are you nominating?
Not yet, just taking comments. Yeah.
Here, Black.
No problem.
Del Monte Beach.
You guys are doing great.
Del Monte Grove, Laguna Grande.
Thank you for agreeing to serve.
You're doing a good job.
Fisher and Black. Glenwood.
I think you did a great job and I think you should.
Monterey Vista.
Yes, like the plans.
In Pluton now? There you go.
Oak Grove.
I would like to have the two people in charge right now to continue.
Old Town. Ditto. Phil Del Monte. And, I have no comment. So, any motion? Or nomination?
I'll move to continue as we are with Mary as our chair. Dennis as our vice chair.
I'll second that.
Okay. Alta Mesa,
Aye.
Casanova Oak Knoll, Deer Flats, Del Monte Beach,
Aye.
Del Monte Grove Laguna Grande,
Aye.
Downtown,
Copy Dennis, yes, please.
Fisherman's Flats, Glenwood,
Aye.
Monterey Vista, New Monterey,
Aye.
Oak Grove,
Hi.
Old Town,
Aye.
Skyline, Villa Del Monte.
Aye.
All right, motion passes.
Well, and with the committee member comment. Can this be open-ended or do you go around?
You still need to open for each person. Yes.
We'll start off with Alta Mesa.
That was sort of a geeky request. Did you send the rules of order that this committee?
Yes.
Under, just.
Yes,
Chairman, I need that.
yes, okay.
Nova Oak Knoll.
Send it, we could send it to everyone.
Enjoy the communication and the conversation and the discussions that we have about each topic on the agenda. It is a refreshing and makes you kind of think about things in different ways sometimes to hear other people's opinions. I appreciate the communication that we have. Your thoughts?
Looking forward to a great cycle.
Two comments. One, I'm not shouting at you. I spent hours listening to the OWL recording after the last meeting. Oh my gosh, volume control issues. So everybody speak clearly and enunciate with some volume because I kept not hearing you and having to repeat. And number two, please take the time before we get to the next meeting and Dennis's item that's been put on the agenda is considered by you all. Please have read the entire manual, every page, because there's so much of what we're supposed to do and how it's supposed to work inside it. And what he's proposing is a huge thing. And so please do that homework before that next meeting.
I'm pleased and excited with the new schedule, and I thank staff for being creative to come up with it, because it solves that information issue that I've long felt.
Downtown. Reggie, could you send me the Excel file of the latest update you had? We can just live this.
Sure, yes.
And I'm excited too. I think there was some contention in the past, but I think more and more we're working together, and this schedule is going to allow us to work better with the council and with staff. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to this.
Vision and thoughts?
Thank you for continuing to do a great job as a team, you guys. Looking forward to more information. A commercial pause. NCIP did a fuel reduction project for the old Capitol project. And it is coming to Parks and Recs next Wednesday, the 12th at 5:30. And then it'll be voted on by Parks and Recs, and then it'll go to City Council. Any of you, please come out in person or go on the Zoom, on your phone, whatever. Old Capitol needs your support. It was part of NCIP. And hope to see you guys at 5:30 on February the 12th in council chambers. Thank you.
Monterey Vista.
I think the new schedule is great, and I look forward to a productive year, and hopefully we can make some progress on the projects. And I appreciate everything Reggie and staff have done.
Oak Grove.
I'm ready for a new year.
Old Town. Encouraged to finally move the mural project ahead. Skyline.
I appreciate the cooperation in this room and the collaboration that we're doing. I think we're working very well with Public Works and the staff. And I have an upcoming meeting with the mayor and the city council, representing the city council. So I think we're headed towards a much better collaboration between city and the Public Works, etc. And I really appreciate everybody's support in making it happen.
Bella Del Monte.
I just want to thank city staff. You guys have been great and patient and guiding me and like what the heck have I signed with Form 700? So I appreciate all that because I know it takes time out of your day.
And I just want to say thank you. And I really appreciate your kind words of support. Thank you to Dennis for his guidance and help as well, and certainly our city staff who've been amazing. So I really appreciate everyone. So that will close committee comment and
Excuse me, just. I might be. But from an audience perspective, with the second meeting, we can hardly hear anything. So we really need to get some mics. The other thing that I might suggest is putting a podium at an angle over there, because you are really blocked. So I think we're all been straining, and the same thing the second week, that last meeting, and I just want to say, we can't hear you.
Thank you for that comment.
And this is Tammy Jennings again, as a person online. I agree 100%. You can't hear you. You need about 1 or 2 more mics on each table so that you can hear. We can't hear anything.
Our next meeting is February 19th, and I will adjourn the meeting.
All right, figure that out. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.